playing in her bedroom when she hears her mother call from the kitchen. So she runs downstairs to meet her mother. As she's running through the hallway, the door to the cupboard under the stairs opens, and a hand reaches out and pulls her in. It's her mother. She whispers to the child, "Don't go into the kitchen." I heard it too.
Fuck's sake, man.
Yes, man, that one's good. That, there's a couple other ones that are I've heard kind of loosely based on that one, but not exactly that.
That kind of stuff just that kind of stuff scares the shit out of me, dude.
Yeah. Well, do you remember? I don't know if I showed you the trailer or you showed me or what it was, but do you remember that movie? It was just called Mother, and her face was wrapped up.
Oh, that was a Good Night, Mommy, or something.
Good Night,
yeah,
the Austrian movie. I'm talking about they made an American one, which was not as good, apparently.
It was bad. I've seen both. The American one is worse.
Is the Austrian one scary?
Is it? The trailer's scarier than an actual movie.
Yeah, that's one of the scariest trailers I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it's creepy. But the whole, I can't really remember the movie right now. But I think it was a bit meh.
Yeah, and I take your word for it because I know if it was scary, you'd remember it. I know.
Oh my God, yes.
When it comes to scary movies, and that's what's the one where the family is on vacation and they answer the door and it's those two dudes. And they come in and fucking torture the family and murder them. There's a European and American version, and the American version, but the European version, man, the beginning song, it's this they're a black metal punk group. It's really interesting, and it's just this intense screaming with the band playing, and it's what they're listening to in the car for some reason, and then it just gets snatched. The whole movie is, I'll get the name for you after. I'll actually get it for you now. But the whole movie is just so, dude, in the European one, when they have them the family captured and they're beating them and killing them, it shows everything.
Europeans goes all out with movies like that. It's frigged up.
Yeah, and it's always Scandinavian or whatever, right? The French make really intense, scary movies, man.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
There's one French scary movie, I forget the name of it, but the whole idea, it's this woman who was she breaks out of a cult, or she was a sex slave. It's really, and then this thing is chasing her and she kills people because I guess she's losing her mind. And then dude, it ends with another person being captured by this group because this group has set all this up. It's crazy. And then there's another one. Then there's another one where there's a documentary film crew following a serial killer around, and he's just fucking killing people. One of the kill scenes is that he knocks on this old woman's door and screams at her until she has a heart attack. It's that kind of, it's crazy. European movie, family.
Well, I guess while you're looking it up, I could say, welcome to the episode 9 of the Good Laff Podcast, guys. Yep. I'm Jordan Reed, your host, and joined by my co-host.
I'm Julian Smith, and I'll get that name for that fucking podcast after, that movie after. But it's just such an intense, just an intense concept. And it's always the European ones are never they're barely ever supernatural. It's always real.
Brutality. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
So, and yeah, like we said, welcome to episode 9. Thanks everybody who has listened to episodes 1 through 8. It's been awesome. I can't believe we're almost to episode 10. Yeah, today me and Jordan want to go back to basics. Feller Pine isn't here with us today, so we're going to go back to our roots, we call them, because we were covering hockey there for a bit because there was a lot going on in hockey. World Juniors,
Four Nations,
trade deadline, team getting announced in Newfoundland. So me and Jordan have been talking, though. We figure by the end of the summer, because hockey season is almost over now, so the podcast is going to be back what we're doing, scary stories and stuff and scary movies. But me and Jordan figure in after the summer, the podcast will probably split into two different types of things, and we'll probably have a sports curated podcast and like a pop culture curated podcast, because the stuff that we're both interested in, but it's hard to like mingle them into episodes. Especially when we have these big events. Like next year, we're going to have the Olympics. There's a new team in Newfoundland. Like we want to talk about that, but we also want to talk about scary movies. So, and yeah. So Jordan, do you want to, I should just go let everybody know that what I just read was a creepypasta. I'm not sure the name of it. It's if you just type in Reddit, scary short creepypastas is the first one that comes up. So, that one is. Can you imagine? Jordan.
And dude, whenever mother calls, I goes right away just because what does she want now? I'll go see what she wants. And it reminds me of another podcast I read. It's called The Dog's Lick, where Ducky's she's there on her bed sleeping, and she feels her dog licking her hand, no big deal. And then a little while later, her fucking dog walks in the room walks under her bed.
Man, there's one there. It's another really scary one. I probably won't find it very quickly, but oh yeah, this one is crazy.
You read another one?
I want to read another one if that's cool. It's just
give her, dude.
Okay, I've been lying down for hours now. It's 5:35 a.m. and there's not much I could do. You know what the worst part about my situation is? I'm in the same room with my parents. They keep staring at me. I can't help but look back and try not to cry or scream. Their eyes are focused on me and their mouths are wide open. There's a strong set of blood and I'm paralyzed with fear. Here's the thing. The second that I make any hint that I'm not asleep anymore, I'm completely fucked. I will die and there's nobody around to save me. I've been trying to think of a way out, but the only idea I have is to rush out from my bedroom door, run inside the front door and scream for help, hoping my neighbors hear me. It's risky, but if I stay here, I'll surely die. He's waiting for me to wake up and see his masterpiece. You're probably wondering what's going on. I do get ahead of myself sometimes. About 3 hours ago, I heard screaming from the other room in my house. I got up and went to check on the noise and realized that I had to use the restroom. Instead of doing the smart thing and investigating, I used the bathroom first. I could have got myself killed right there for my stupid actions, but I actually did my business and took a peek outside the bathroom. There was blood on the carpet. I got very worried and ran back to my room and hid under my sheets like the pussy I was. I tried to convince myself to go back to sleep, that it was only some weird vivid dream or something. I heard my bedroom door open. Like the terrified child I was, I peeked from under my blankets to see what was going on. I could see something dragging my dead parents into the room. Whatever it wasn't human, I can tell you that. It was hairless, no eyes, and no clothing. It walked like a caveman with its back slouched as it dragged my parents. But this thing was much smarter than any caveman. It was aware of what it was doing. It propped my dad up on the edge of the bed and made him face me. Then it sat down my mother in the chair and positioned her towards me as well. After that, it started rubbing its hands on the walls, staining them with blood, and then drew a circle with a pentagram in it. To finish it off, it scribbled a message on the wall that I couldn't read in the darkness. It then positioned itself under my bed, waiting to strike. The scariest thing now is my eyes have adjusted to the darkness since then, and I can read the message on the wall. I don't want to look at it because it's terrifying to think about, but I feel the need to see before I'm killed. I peek at the creature's masterpiece. I know you're awake.
Oh my god. Dude, what?
I know, man. Someone wrote that too. Someone's fucked up. Yeah, that's crazy.
That's
and like some are so lame, but some are like, I'm like, man, this person who wrote this is massively creative. Like
oh my god.
Like just to writing that one there, I'm like, wow, that's actually pretty well written. So let's get into it. Episode 9. Me and Jordan were like, we wants to go back to the basics as we were talking about. So we watched. Do you want to tell
the Exorcism of Emily Rose, boys and girls?
And like Buzz, honestly, to go. We were talking about like what one to watch, and we were like, Oh, I'm not sure what one of us brought that up, and I was like, oh yeah, haven't seen that one in a while. We want to like talk about something that's a bit older. Like that movie's like 22 years old. Like if we're spoiling it for you, too bad. You should have watched it already. It's 22 years old.
Well, it came in 2005. It's 20 years old now.
Yeah,
2005. I remember seeing the trailer for that movie when I was when it first came out when I was 13, and it was honestly one of the scariest things I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh, dude, it's like
with all the demand, like she's walking in the road, people's faces are changing. I was like, this is. It still holds up. I'll say that for sure. Still holds up 20 years later.
I gotta say, it done a it's like there's some parts in it where I'm like, and it's obvious because it's 20 years old, and there's just in like the current world we live in with like how crazy real some things are. It like there's some lame parts in it where I'm like, oh yeah, that's unbelievable or something, just like the way they directed it, and like not to get too far, but like when they're doing the exorcism and it does the shot to like the snakes and the tarantulas, I'm like, this feels a bit Goosebumps. Like, you know,
yeah,
and the snake just falls on him. I'm like, why are these animals here? Like,
yeah,
like, but like they did it with the Deborah Long movie that we were talking about. Like, they had snakes in that movie, but they did that well. The way they brought that out, but that that movie also got lame at the end when she turned into a snake. There's no doubt about it. You know what I mean? Like, every movie kind of ends up getting weird at the end. But yeah, Exorcism of Emily Rose. So we threw that on the other day, and it's one of those movies that starts at the end.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Go ahead.
So Ducky's perished. She died in an exorcism, and then the priest is on trial, and yeah, we need to see how we got here, and it's a bumpy ride, I tell you that.
Yeah, and like it does in the first. I'm gonna make if you're watching on YouTube, you can see my background is actually the image from the movie. Now I'll keep that for the episode since we're talking about it. But yeah, so like in that opening scene, it's really weird because the camera follows the doctor right from his perspective as he gets out of this car and like walks to the door, walks to the room, and the door is closed. And then like as soon as the door is closed, it like breaks perspective, and then like we get everybody's point of view. But yeah, like you said, it like starts at the end, and it's like she's dead. Like the Emily Rose is dead, and then it starts to like get into detail about how that happened. And like it's one of those movies too. I did a bit of quite a laughing where like every character is the second option to another actor, like the priest, Anthony Hopkins, like the lawyer. I'm like, oh man, she got mad Julia Roberts or like Michelle Pfeiffer vibes. You know what I mean? Like one of those like, but like all the acting was actually, I think, quite good.
Everybody nailed the acting in that movie. I think the casting was good. The acting was good. Like
there's some things that got into like when we were watching it that like I want to like bring up specifically, like to talk about like little themes in the movie and like little things. And like, so one thing like it always plays on, it's so the idea of the movie is that Emily Rose is a devout Catholic girl, gets a scholarship to a university, and I guess the part of America I'm assuming that she's from is probably a bit rural, probably a bit poor. Her parents probably can't send her to university or to scholarship, and she gets a scholarship. And like, even her parents, who you get the vibe of, are probably super protective. Even
yeah, dude. Because like when she says she's leaving, like, the mother is half devastated that she's going away to school, and like the daughter needs
very happy.
Yeah, but like the daughter needs to reassure, like Emily needs to reassure her mother, like everything's gonna be okay, like I'm gonna be all right, blah blah blah, like scholarship, like this is me dream, yeah. So
yeah. And like, so a little bit before we start seeing what happened in her life, like a lawyer gets hired by the church to go represent the priest who's on. There's a priest who's going to be on trial for negligent homicide. So basically, he didn't plan it or anything, but he also didn't stop it from a death from happening when he could have. Right. And it happened during the exorcism or whatever. So, and he's a pretty good actor himself. He's the bad guy.
Tom Wilkinson is his name. He's a main antagonist in Rush Hour 1. Good actor.
He is pretty good. And he has that that voice that's kind of like kind of British, but it's not. It's an interesting accent he has. So the thing that the father wants to tell the priest, he's like, I don't care if I go to jail. And it's like, it's a bit of a lame, but I need to tell the story of Emily Rose. It's like the whole, right. And then we get into her life. And then basically it's like a back and forth. The whole movie, it's flashbacks that are being told from the courtroom or from a jail cell or from an interview that the priest, the lawyer has with people. And so it's always a flashback. It's quite interesting because it's never from Emily's perspective. It's always from the person who's telling its perspective.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's cool because when the doctors are talking about Emily, what happened to her, it's more like a medical thing. But when the priest is describing shit that happened, it's like the scary possessed shit. And I just think it's really cool.
Yes, and to go off what Jordan said, they put doctors on trial, obviously, because the prosecutors are trying to prove she just had epilepsy, she had a psychosis, and then when they show those flashbacks, she just looks like she's having an epileptic seizure,
right? Or
that she's just having a breakdown, and
right.
I've seen people who have seizures, and I've also had kind of intense mental breakdowns before, so I know what both of those things look like.
Yeah.
So.
Well, dude, the main thing is they show a picture of her in the courtroom, and like you said, she looks like someone who was fucking possessed.
Well, from anyone who's seen the possession of Hannah Grace, the one from the hospital, it actually looks like Hannah Grace when they bring her in. It's the just the face is beat up, and it's from probably beating themselves up and through not eating. It's just they look. I would be someone kicked the shit out of this person, or they were possessed. I wouldn't think that this happened by itself. So yeah, and it's really interesting. Then when the father's telling it, or her father, or I should say the priest instead of the father, because there's her father and the father, but there's the priest or her mother, or when someone like that is telling the story, you see it from like you said, Jordan, the possession, scary point of view.
Yeah.
And it has what would I say? The same kind of I don't even know what to call them, but they're in all scary movies. For example, 3 a.m. is a big thing in this movie.
Oh yeah, the classic horror movie tropes. Yeah.
Yeah, the tropes. And we see it first from the lawyer. The lawyer wakes up one morning at 3 a.m.
Oh yeah, the lawyer's played by Laura Linney. She was the main. She played Wendy Bird in Ozark, the biggest bitch of all time, and she also played she played the wife in the Truman Show.
Yes, that's what it is. Yeah.
She nailed. She was great in this movie too. Nailed it.
Yeah, she was good. And so you see her wake up at 3 a.m. and it's really funny because she wakes up and it's 2000. I guess they probably shot this movie in 2003, 2004 to release it in 2005. There's obviously no cell phones, so it's just a really weird because she's not with her cell phone light or anything. And then you're why does it stop at 3 o'clock if you don't know the trope? But then in the scene where Emily first gets possessed, she wakes up at 3 a.m. And we were talking about that scene, me and you. And I thought it was pretty again, shot 20 years ago, not a massive budget. What was it 19 million? And it
was 19 million, and they made 145.
Which now it's 240 or something now.
It was it'd be 30 million, and it was 240. So it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, and you could tell obviously that they had a smaller budget because they they use acting as like a big way to get and like also like just little tropes, like when in the scene where she's getting possessed, she leaves her room and the hallway looks really claustrophobic and there's red everywhere and there's no one else around besides her. It kind of
it's like she's in hell, dude. It's like she's in hell, literally. Yeah.
And it, like, not to go further in the film, it also does it in later in the film when the priest is getting haunted by the demon too. He walks down the hallway and it's all really like disorienting and stuff. And it's just, I think it's a trope to be like, what's coming and the forces that are around are making this happen. So she gets possessed, and I had a note there that possession in all movies, it always has like a bit of the symbolism as for rape. Like she gets choked.
Trigger warning, by the way, rape. Yeah.
It like someone. It kind of looks like she gets choked, and it kind of looks like something goes inside of her.
It's like something's being forced upon her for sure. That's what it seems like.
And the same thing with the Evil Dead and all those movies. They kind of play on that trope of like, and even in the Omen, the last Omen movie, they're literally, that group of people is literally getting that jackal to have sex with that woman. It's really fucked. And there's for some reason associated to rape, and I guess it has something to do with the devil and whatever. I don't want to, but yeah. So, and I guess it also looks like she's going to university by herself, so it's also playing on that. Like, young girl goes off on her own for the first time in university, and all the dangers of what could happen. And her parents are probably worried about all these things, but what happens to her? She gets possessed.
Yeah.
So then it just starts showing little scenes about like how she is dealing with it. Like, and in every scene it's pouring out when she's like going through the initial stages of possession. And then eventually she goes back home because she's like, I can't fucking do this anymore. And like they diagnosed her with epilepsy. They gave her medication and all that. And then this is kind of when the priest enters the story more or less in her life.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because like, so she takes a drug Gambutrol, I think it's called, right? And like the priest is saying, if she kept, the reason why the possession wasn't successful is because she was on this drug. And then the doctors are saying, but if she stopped taking this drug, so that's the reason she died. So like it's fucked.
Yeah, it's a big back and forth, and like the whole idea, it's like the lawyer's agnostic and the priest is like telling her like, like whatever was after Emily is going to be after you as well, because it comes after all of us. And you start to see that out through the film. It is whatever's haunting her is truly haunting her. Like, and he's in court and they're getting beat because obviously like it's a bunch of people who are like, we believe in medical science, so we're not believing that this girl was possessed. But they're also not, that's not the defense. The defense is that he didn't negligent homicide. It kind of just, it was something that happened. Like the defense isn't really she was possessed. That's kind of what everyone is saying, but the defense is more or less he didn't do it. And
like it's not his fault.
But then like the prosecutors can bring in doctors and medical professionals, and like the only people she can bring in are like people who are like, she brings in that one psychologist that studies exorcisms around the world or whatever. And it's like, like she's saying that, and like, dude, I believe this too. How can, even in cultures, like we are on other sides of the world and there's no way to communicate with each other. How do people have the exact same story?
That's true.
And like, this is things that have been talked about forever. Like, how is it a collective consciousness that humans have? Like, but like, how does every religion or even the oldest religions have like possession?
Yeah.
And like, I think even the woman who's the PhD I don't even show if she believes in God or anything per se, but like she's just trying to say it's like a phenomenon that happens to people.
Yeah, she tries to break it down like obsession with science, and it's pretty interesting how they do it.
Yeah, because I believe that stuff because like it's ghosts and stuff are it's weird, it's hard to believe in, but also I'm like, man, I think someone can leave so much negative energy, it just sticks around. Or
Yeah,
positive.
dude.
Or
Right.
either way, you know what I mean? Like, and it's like same with like, but yeah, it's like how can everybody in the world, like every corner, every group of people have a story about but yeah, like the devil, like or the devil possessing or whatever. So yeah, basically the movie's big scene is all it's all leading up to like little mini parts for the priest to testify. The priest
Right.
wants to testify, and it plays on the typical tropes of her boss is like, if you let him testify, you're fired, and like all these little things like
Yeah, because her boss is like they're like getting pressured by like the archdiocese and the Vatican and stuff, and it's like making them look bad. Like for if Father Moore testifies, it makes them look bad. So like yeah,
and do you remember why it made him look bad? Because they said he could exorcise her, and no one knew
right,
that. And
right.
that's why they wanted him to take a plea deal because they didn't want people to find out that it actually runs much farther than the priest, right?
Yeah,
Which is also interesting because like it doesn't show you any of those conversations. It just like gets right to like, um, and yeah, like oh man, when she goes home and he comes over for the first day, dude, I made a note about this about sending her sister up to the room. She's up in the room flipping out, and they could hear her up there. And the mother's like, Alice, and her name's Alice. Go get your sister, and just
she like a fucking little timid mouse, just slowly. She's like, Emily, are you okay? It's like, dude.
and she's like, her eyes are black. She's she's eating bugs and like playing with them, dead bugs, and then
Yeah,
she
dude. Eating.
starts scratching the wall. But then she also starts mocking the mass too, where she's going on her knees and coming back up and going on her knees and coming back up and going like she's
Yeah, dude.
praying, and it's just and she starts screaming. Oh no,
Dude, what's her? Okay, the main chick. We didn't talk about her name. Jennifer Carpenter is her name. I haven't seen her anything since. But dude, her screams and everything. She's so good.
yeah,
Like
she
it
was.
made me like she made me feel very uneasy, bro.
The priest's name, Father Moore. Um,
Yes.
oh man, she like yeah when Alice and then like it all starts because remember the father goes up and then he goes downstairs and he's like outside and she's looking out the window and then when he comes in she turns around she starts playing that song on
Oh
piano and
yeah.
it's like a horror song or whatever it's obviously it sounds creepy and then that because they're getting ready for the exorcism um which they got
It's
a good one.
wild.
It's one of the better ones in an Exorcist movie, in a possession movie. Uh, there's a couple that I'm like are great. I think the one in and they're all different too, but I think the one in the oh my god, The Conjuring, the first one, I think that's a
Yeah.
great Exorcist scene. But this one is
Well, one thing. Okay, it says early in like Father Moore says early in the beginning to what's her Aaron Bruner is her name is the lawyer. He's like, there's dark forces haunting this case or whatever, and she's like skeptical. But remember, she's in a bar and didn't like someone what explain that? I don't know exactly what happens.
oh, someone that she got because she's a defense lawyer and she usually represents murderers. And
Right,
like she got a guy off on murder, and then she sees on the news that he actually went and killed
more people.
more people. But like she doesn't ever say, well, he was actually really guilty for the first crime and I got him away with it. So like it makes it seem like he was maybe guilty for the first one, and this dark force maybe went and possessed him to do this, to start like getting at her in little ways.
Right. So like that's like the first she sees it on TV, and like it's like the first step of her believing that. Yeah.
Yeah, and like she never actually says, even at the end, like she believes in God, but it's more of a like an observance. Because I think agnostic means because atheist is you don't believe. Agnostic is you're open to kind of believing and you just don't know what's out there, I think, right? I think, yeah. So like even because the priest says it to her when she says she's agnostic, he's like, oh, so you do question, like, so I think he's like, oh, well, and I think which means she's probably even more prone to it.
Yeah.
Because of like her kind of her weighing of things. And like, yeah, through the whole movie, like there's a doctor who they don't know, but he was actually at the exorcism, and she's like, oh my God, we could break the case wide open. He said that, like, so she goes and meets this doctor and he gives her a tape recorder and he's like, his acting's a bit bad. I'm like, dude, you seem weirdly scared. And he does these classic lines. It's your
burden now.
Yeah, it's your burden now. And then he gets hit by a car. And then he can't testify. And so then they're like, oh my God, we need to play. Oh, and that's when that's when the priest testifies, Father Moore, because they have the tape recorder then. So he's like, I can prove it now. I have a tape recorder. It's like, the prosecutor actually says something so brilliant. He's like, it's just voices, man. Like anything could be imitated.
Well, yeah, dude, because the thing is, they have an explanation for everything. Like her talking with two different voices. They get dummied, honestly, because like the public defender picks apart everything that they does.
And like, but it's also weird how everything that. But I think that's what the devil, you know what I mean, wants.
Yeah,
it's like okay, like we can make it seem like it's something else because of everything else,
right?
Like we know that. I would assume the devil knew that she took those classes and all those things is easy explainable by science. So like we'll never believe this. And like, dude, he convinced me because you even said it, man. You even said it. You're like, did this actually happen?
Yeah, dude. Dude. It made me question everything.
And like even you said, we were getting into the exorcist part, but I think we should maybe even talk about the courtroom a little bit. You mentioned how like usually you have no interest in these types of scenes in the movie. But those scenes in the movie are arguably the most important because it's like actually showing you like they're just getting, like you said, they're getting destroyed. No chance.
Dummied. No.
And they actually, well, we'll get into it because they get dummied the whole time. Like even when they're like tape recorder, it's still like, even when her father is up there, like her dad, and he's like crying about what he's seen, they're like, you're her dad and you want, and you're a devout Catholic. You're obviously going to believe it was God and not medical stuff. So yeah, like, and they do such a good job of that, man, because even when you were questioning it, like I had to Google it. I was like, is she actually possessed in this movie? And he comes up and is like, yeah, she is possessed. I'm like, okay, like, because I'm not ready for this, like very Law and Order type of thing. Right. Like,
yeah.
And it also, oddly enough, we're not going to get into this. It gives you a good insight in the American justice system and how hard it can be to get away with something. If you truly didn't do it, like it's that hard to get away with something because they'll have something for everything. They're smart, man. And the prosecutor, they picked him because he was Roman Catholic. So it looks like even though he believes in God himself, he's willing to put this priest on trial for something that's not real. And so like that comes into question too.
One thing that goes against the public defender is like there's a few times where he lets his emotions get the better of him. He argues with the priest, he like flips out at misses, and like the judge gets pissed with him a couple times.
Yeah. Oh, it's always that. Yeah. It's because like and the judge in that movie, she's non-biased. She's open to hearing everybody's thing, right?
Yeah,
like even when he's freaking out because they brought that expert in who he doesn't believe in her, she's like, no, man, you brought in 5 doctors. We're going to hear her side of it. Like,
right.
They're trying to prove this, and I need to let them try to prove it. And dude, like, again, not to get into American justice system, it's crazy how much that is not allowed to happen, where the defense is trying to bring in evidence and the judge is like, nope, don't give a fuck. Because like usually they're all out to get you, but in this movie, it's playing it a bit better than that. So yeah, like the courtroom scenes are great, and it's also like just a bit refreshing because, again, with a scary movie, you can tend to get into these really lame scenes, and they just save the scariness for like probably 6 or 7 scenes. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's a horror movie, but it's also a drama because it has that drama of the courtroom, but it never has a scene where you're like, okay. Like Deborah Long, they go so far with scary at the end. They're like, "What's the
Deborah? Is Deborah the taking of Deborah Logan?
The taking of Deborah Logan. Deborah Long. I don't know who that is. It's somebody else, I guess. But Deborah Logan. They that movie is like so scary. At the end, they had to turn her into a snake because there's like no other.
Is that what happened in that movie?
Yeah, dude. Her head turns into a snake when she's trying to eat the little girl.
Oh my god, yes.
It's dude, it's horrifying until then.
Yeah.
But then they're like, oh, but that's what I mean. This movie didn't have to do that because it wasn't scene after scene after scene of like scary. It was like, we're just gonna get the scary and like really the exorcisms. Go ahead.
At no point was I bored, and like I was like when it was a courtroom scene, I was like, okay, let's get back to the scary shit because like, it was actually interesting. I was invested in the courtroom, and I was actually invested in the case and like all the fucking trial shit. So yeah.
So and then to go back to the exorcism, so they tie her to the bed, and like with like rags. And it just like
and she breaks out instantly, dude.
But the cool thing I like about that one, it's like he has the cross, he's like throwing the holy water on her, and she's just like laughing at him, speaking multiple languages. But then, like you said, she leaves and she breaks out of it and she jumps through the window and runs into the barn. And they all follow her. And they get out there and it's one of the craziest parts of the exorcism scene I've ever seen, because like remember the daughter runs in again, Alice.
Yeah.
Sees her there, and she screams again. And then because they're all out there, like they're trying to get her to say, because and I actually read about it today, and it happens in every exorcist movie. They need to get the demon to say their name.
Yeah, the reason I think it's because, like, well, if they guess the demon's name, they have power over it, right, or whatever.
Yeah, they have the power over it. And I found out another thing today, like the reason why you're always asking it questions is because it can't answer questions. It can't ask you questions. It can only answer, if that makes sense. It can't, like, you can look at the demon and be like, "What's your name, demon?" The demon can't ask you back what your name is. It only like that's something I learned about today. And it's like you said, it's like the whole control thing, because it goes back to like apparently like Egyptian religion, where when they knew Ra's name or whatever the demon, the devil is in their religion, when they knew his name, they had power over him. So, but then they're like, "What's your name?" And it's just speaking like it speaks Greek, Aramaic, and German.
Yeah. And like the thing is, in the courtroom, like she like the public defender's like, "Oh, but didn't she take a bit of German in school? Wouldn't she have learned? Wouldn't she be exposed to Aramaic and all that shit, and like in church and that?" And he's like, "Yeah." So he debunks everything, dude.
Yeah. So the priest is asking her like, "What is your Father Moore?" Because it's like, "What is your name, demon?" Blah blah. And they're speaking Latin back and forth to each other, or Aramaic. I'm not sure what that language is. And because they're all pretty similar. And then she says, like, I have 6 names.
She keeps going. She's going like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in another language, and that's like that's like one of the scariest things. It's actually terrifying.
And then she says something on top of that, and then says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 again to like kind of make it seem like 666 as well.
Yeah.
But what he says to her, he says, "Tell me your 6 names," and she says, "We are the ones who dwell within." And then she says in Hebrew, "I am the one who dwelt within Cain." Cain and
Abel.
Cain's the bad one, right? Like the in Latin, "I am the one who dealt within Nero." Nero is a Roman emperor who like killed a lot of people. In Greek, I once dwelt within Judas, referring to Judas who sold out Jesus. In German, I was with Legion. I don't know if that refers to the Nazis. I have no idea. Maybe it does. Because why would it be in German? I was trying to in Assyrian Neo-Aramaic, I am Belial, who I guess is like the original name of the devil. And then she says in English, "And I am Lucifer, the devil in the flesh."
That is, dude, the fact that they got the devil's there, dude, himself.
Well, that's the thing. Every other scary movie, it's a possession movie. It's somebody acting for the devil.
Yeah, it's like one of the Lords of Hell or something. Whatever.
But this is the devil. Or, I don't know, because there's also a lot of movies that the thing says it's the devil, and then the priest is always a bit hesitant to give him that. But like the priest, I think the priest says after, like, we basically, like, we set you down one time, we'll do it again, essentially. But they can't do it because she is possessed by the devil. They actually can't exorcise the devil out of her, which is like, so then you're like, you still think like, how is this gonna end? And then like, really, like, the exorcism is essentially the end, before we find out that Emily wrote a letter to the priest.
Yeah, that's like the big crescendo. It's like
that's the image here, where she wakes up one morning and it's foggy like this, and she goes to the tree and she sees the Virgin Mary.
Yeah.
Who offers her, like, "I will take this from you right now, and you can come with me
peacefully, dude.
Peacefully, and it will all be over. Or you could," which is like,
"You'll suffer greatly."
Yeah, but also I'm like, never mind. I'm like, this is just, in the world of religion, I'm like, this is so counterintuitive. Wouldn't she just want to help her? But whatever. They have another plan. That's another plan. I don't know. But the Virgin Mary is just like, "We can help you, or you can stay here, die and suffer, but everyone will know the devil exists," essentially. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
You are anointed. She's essentially she will be like the priest even says that someday she will be a saint, because she has proved miracle, essentially.
Yeah.
She's almost like, her death is saving others as well, and proving that, like, because they will prove the devil is real and God is real. So, but priest still gets found guilty.
Well, yeah, he gets guilty. He's found guilty.
But I guess because, like, at the end of the day, the prosecutor did do a better job.
Oh my God. Yeah. They got dummied in court, bro.
And like I said, like, in America, probably one of the most religious countries in the world still, like, especially for a developed nation. Yeah, she you could assume that a lot of them are probably religious, but a lot of other religions don't really believe in angels and demons the way the Catholics do. It's like everyone believes in it, but not to the, I don't think to the extent of like exorcism and like possession. I've never heard about it in Anglican, in the Anglican church. And maybe there is cases of it, but it's definitely more prevalent. Like at one point, the Vatican had an exorcism school. That's how big it was.
Yeah.
So, so he gets found guilty, and then what happens next is really confusing. And Jordan, I don't know if you can Google this, but the jury recommends a sentence. Like, I don't know if that can happen.
I'm pretty sure pretty sure the jury could actually recommend a sentence, and the judge will take it into consideration. I'm pretty sure that happens.
Okay, the jury could also give the sentence,
right?
But I don't know if that maybe that's only in certain cases. But another thing I was wondering is like, can you actually expedite a verdict as well? Because they're like, well, father wants to be like, he doesn't want to wait 6 months to figure out how long he's going to jail for. Can he figure it out right now? I didn't know. I always thought it had to go through just, but I guess they're giving it like if whatever mood the judge is in that day is the mood they're in, and you might be fucked if they're in a bad mood. Like,
sure, yeah.
Especially the judge will then a lot of the time take the case and go read it over themselves and deliberate, obviously, over a couple months over like somebody's life. Because you could assume like Father Moore, if he's put in jail for 10 years, the max sentence, he might die in jail. He seems like an older dude, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like but there's a part of me that likes it that they found him guilty, because I'm like, if you find him innocent, then I think they're like, what precedent does this set?
Right.
Like,
yeah. So basically, what killed her was she wouldn't eat. Right. That was like she wouldn't eat, and her body just gave out.
Just shut down. Just beat itself up after, and then like also like the exorcisms were hard on her body because he did a couple.
Right.
But he's
found guilty, and then the jury recommends time served, and then the judge passes. She's like, "Yeah, I agree. Good laugh," and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, they just kind of go on their merry way. Nothing really happens after they tell you. They do the classic. This is what happened after, because it's based on a true story, which is loosely based on a true story. Which we'll probably get into that really quickly now. It's actually based on the real story of a possession of a girl named Anneliese Michael, who was a German girl. Her exorcism started in the 70s. She was exorcised 67 times over her. And it's also it follows on a lot of the same ideas as the movie. She believes she was anointed by Mother Mary to prove that God exists, the devil exists. But the reason is what was going on in Catholicism at this time was the Vatican II, that the Vatican passed to basically like reform Catholicism, to go away from the archaic old times of like the Crusades and all that, and like enter a new age, basically to get more people to join and not to be so like, they were even more hateful before then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Seeing things the whole time, which didn't help. And it has the same story, like where she went to university. That's where it all kind of first started happening. She had epilepsy. She starved herself. It was really, this is like the crazy one. She said she got stigmata, which is like the wounds of Jesus Christ. She visited this place called San Damiano, or the family friend who regularly organized Christian pilgrimages. She refused to drink the water of a Christian holy spring and walk past a crucifix. She was unable to enter the shrine. She approached it with the greatest hesitation. Then she said that the soil burned like fire, and she simply could not stand it. She then walked around the shrine in a wide arc and tried to approach it from the back. She looked at the people who were kneeling in the area surrounding the little garden, and it seemed to her that while praying, they were gnashing their teeth. She got as far as the edge of the little garden. Then she had to turn back, coming from the front again. She had to avert her glance to the picture of Christ. She made it several times to the garden, but could not get past it. She also noted that she could no longer look at medals or pictures of saints. They sparkled so immensely that she could not stand it. And there's like other little stories about like she's seen people's faces like distorting, like Emily Rose seeing it and all that. And it's just horrible. But also she was taken advantage of by the Catholic Church and essentially murdered. And they knew that she believed so much. Like basically what I was reading about her is that it was easier to grasp that she had been possessed. It could be better someday than to believe that she actually had epilepsy and had to deal with that for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
And she intentionally starved herself to death because she believed that much.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild because it also like it gets into like issues in the Catholic Church, right? Like pushing this onto people, and like these people are so devout. Like she said, the only time she felt better is when she prayed. But it's like that's such a when you have epilepsy, like, you know, like she definitely had epilepsy or whatever, and like you should probably take your pills too. It's good that this thing helps you and makes you feel better, like spiritually, but also like physically and mentally. Maybe you should take your meds because it's and like also like what it says is that the amount of seizures she had eventually like gave her brain like more brain disorders, because I guess her brain is so, and then she's depressed and like seeing things and hallucinating, and it's just good.
That's the thing. Like it's perfectly fine to be religious and like prayer makes you feel better, great. But like when it comes to that stuff, like actual medical conditions, is that the be all end all. By you still got to fucking take your pills and shit. Take care of your.
Yeah, like I seen something the other day. It was like someone got better from something, and it was like, thank God this wouldn't happen. It's like I would thank the doctor first, God second.
Yeah,
or maybe they're in it together. I don't know. But like,
well, I mean, you could say like, "Oh, God blessed, like this was able to happen because of the Lord." Like, whatever, you know.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, I would, if we're gonna rate the movie out of a 10, I'd give it a 7.6.
I give it 8.1. I thought it was great.
Oh, I think it's great. Yeah, I think it's great too. I just think couple parts. It would have been more interesting, like the story of the realness as it gets really into like the Vatican and stuff, and it's almost too bad they couldn't have got more into that here. But I guess they don't really have the time because it's all. It was.
There's like for going on with the budget they had, like whatever, what they had, they did a great job. Great movie,
yeah, totally.
If you haven't seen it, well, we just ripped it apart. So sorry, but. I think it's still worth going out of your way and watching it.
Yeah, I think it's 100% worth going to watch. All right, then. Another quick ghost story before we get into the next couple of things. Newfoundland ghost story. From the website product of Newfoundland.ca. I wanted to read The Weber from Stephenville. Many dangers lurk in the woods. Some real and some imagined. The Weber, a strange creature that's said to occupy the wilderness near Stephenville, is a case of the latter. I hope. There's more than one version of the Weber tale, but generally the creature is described as a murderous half-human. Some say it was the offspring, a man and a bear. Others believe it is a feral child that adapted to its marshy woodland environment by developing webbed feet and reptile-like characteristics. According to legend, it stalks human prey at night, leaving behind webbed footprints. In some ways, it reminds me of the stories of the Jersey Devil.
Ew. That's it in Stephenville.
That's it in Stephenville. I got
That's the thing. That's the thing with these stories, man. Like the world is so big, and the wood, like, there's so much fucking, like, you drive around Newfoundland, there's so much woods. God knows what the fuck's out there. Like, I'm open to that shit. Fuck, the Weber's probably real, bye. Fuck it. Miss Weber, shout out grade 7. Dust, anyway.
This one's pretty good, too. Daddy, I had a bad dream. You blink your eyes and pull up on your elbows. Your clock glows red in the darkness. It's 3:23. Do you want to climb into bed and tell me about it? No, Daddy. No, Daddy. The oddness of the situation wakes you up more fully. You could barely make out your daughter's pale form in the darkness of your room. Why not, sweetie? Because in my dream, when I told you about the dream, the thing wearing mommy's skin sat up. For a moment, you feel paralyzed. You can't take your eyes off your daughter. Then the covers behind you begin to shift.
Ew. These are Newfoundland stories? Or what?
No, that was another creepypasta. I just got a bunch written down.
Good luck.
No, so yeah. That's scary stuff for today. I think we're probably gonna have to watch that Taking a Deborah Logan and talk about that one on another episode, because that one is just horrifying too. So yeah, I think next topic, let's talk about video games,
bro. So I didn't really have much to say about video games like in the past podcast, because I don't know, I had a shit, but dude, recently got a new PC. Shout out to Newfound Gaming on Facebook for hooking my ass up. It is fucking a beast of a machine, and I've been up till 6 o'clock every morning playing games like a fucking degenerate. And yeah, what have I been playing? Let me check my Steam. I've been playing, big one, Monster Hunter Wilds. Game of the year. Don't at me. What a fucking time to be alive. I've been playing a bit of PUBG with Feller Pine, and I've also been playing Warzone with Feller Pine on this dummy. And we have been getting dummied, haven't we? But we've been Warzone Boot Camp is what we've been playing. Nobody judge us, please.
Yeah, but dude, it feels like they're good people play that all the time.
Well, see, the thing is, though, we play Warzone Boot Camp and still gets dumped. Like, when he gets to the top 10 or top 20 people or whatever, 50 people left, it's all real players, and they're mostly better than us. So our wins are deserved.
I totally agree. And yeah, so you've been streaming too.
Oh yes, I got an achievement on Twitch here today. 500 hours total streamed. Not in the last couple months, but like overall in my Twitch journey. Yeah, I've been streaming every night, starting at pretty much 7 o'clock Newfoundland time. Hello. No, I'm recording something with Julian. Yeah. Father. Anyway, so yeah, I've been streaming. It's been good laugh. Since I started streaming, I got 80 followers. I'm like 136 followers. Started like 80 odd. So it's been a grind, but I fucking loves it. It's fun as fuck. What else have I been playing?
Follow Dirk on fucking Twitch.
Twitch.tv/Jerkadurk. Thank you very much.
It'll be in the episode description. So find it there. If you like watching people play video games, even if you don't like people watching people play video games, just go over and give them a follow.
Yeah, like if you got a Twitch account, give me a follow. Also, you don't have to do this, but it'd be appreciated if you have an Amazon Prime membership. You could link that to your Twitch account, and you could subscribe to a channel for free. So, if you're listening, you got Amazon Prime, you got a Twitch account, link them together. Come drop your boy a sub. You don't have to, but I'd appreciate the fuck out of it.
Yep, that would be deadly. And there's a world where Jordan's Twitch account is eventually made. There's a world where Jordan's Twitch account is eventually also used to do a scatter Good Laff Pod cast live or something too, or
well, dude, I thought
whatever.
I thought of it one of these days, just like next, like for a podcast episode, I'll just like we'll start recording in the Zoom. I'll just go live on Twitch too. Fuck it.
Yeah, so I've been playing, like you said, I've been playing Warzone. I've been addicted to Call of Duty lately. I just went the second Prestige today. Just fucking
no, you never did you?
Yes, I did. Been playing that too much. But there for a bit, I was addicted. And I beat every side mission. I beat every main mission. I beat the fucking Atlantis missions. Was Assassin's Creed. Oh my God, what one is it? It's the one where you're in ancient Greece.
Odyssey?
Dude. Yes, man.
See, that's another game I played back when I had a shitty PC. I couldn't really get into full enjoyment of it, so I thought about playing that again too.
Dude, I really, really recommend that game. It's good. It still has the old Assassin's Creed like world stuff, like the killing in it. It's fucking, dude, you sail a ship around, man. You have sailors. It's awesome.
Oh, it's sick. But the thing I'll say, like, my only one complaint about that game is the map is too fucking big. It is gigantic, my dude.
But you could quick travel places.
Oh, yeah, fast travel. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but also then you got to wait for the fucking load menu, so there's just will travel there. But sometimes I used to take the boat 200 miles and not even do a thing. Just driving the boat around, killing people, blowing up other boats.
Yeah, that is fun as shit, actually.
Oh, and then my boat, I armored it up the highest it could go. It shot the best arrow. Like, it was just, I would hit a boat. Like, I'd go up in the areas where there were, like, lower level boats. I'd ram one boat and blow it up in one ram. What a fucking laugh. Such a good game. Dude, even the history is so accurate. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah. It's sick.
Like, yeah. I was really, really, really impressed with that game. Impressed with that game so much that I start playing other Assassin's Creeds because I'm like, wow, I didn't really play them before. And I really want the new system so I can get that new one.
Assassin's Creed Shadows, I think it's called. I've read good things and horrendous things, and I've seen good things and I've seen horrendous things. So, like, yeah. And apparently the Japanese population are pissed in that game because they were destroyed. Like, in the game, you can destroy like ancient Japanese shrines or something, and that pissed a lot of people off. And I think that totally goes against their culture. Blah blah blah. I don't know a whole lot about it. There's just something I read. So
yeah, I also read. See, it's weird, dude. This is the world. It's crazy, the world we live in. But it's still about video games. There's a Twitch streamer, but his name's Hassan Abi. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He's more of a.
He's a political commentator.
Yeah, like he used to play video games. I don't think he does as much anymore. But like so Elon Musk tweeted about him, about like how he's being paid to play Assassin's Creed or whatever. And then they got a big argument because like Elon Musk pays people to play Path of Exile or whatever. And but then Ubisoft start tweeting at Elon Musk and chirping him.
I seen that.
And the sales of that game went up a bunch. But what I was saying is that, like, I've been reading a lot of places that Japanese people are pissed, but I've also been reading some places they're happy. And I'm assuming it's probably in the middle. I'm assuming some people are pissed and some people are happy.
Yeah, I'm assuming like some people are pissed, like whatever, and some people are just happy. Some of them are just happy to be represented in a video game. I don't know.
It's like one of those things where like, oh my God, a Newfie. And even if you like make fun of them in the show, it's usually like, oh, that sucks, but deadly to be in that. I don't know. Like, you know what I mean?
Speaking of Newfies, Terry Ryan, legend. We'd love to have you on the pod. If you ever hears this, my son, we'd love to have you on the pod. I'm a big fan of Shorzy. My favorite show, best hockey show ever made. You kills it in that 10-inch cock legend. We wants to have a chat with you.
Yeah, we want to do an episode all about before, like, to give the audience a little bit of insight into things. Like I was saying about how we're like probably going to split things into two podcasts. It's before the season starts for the Newfoundland Regiment. We want to do a Newfoundland hockey history podcast, essentially.
Yeah,
like, and it'll probably be the first.
Yeah, the ones like history of all the teams we had, history of all the NHL players, like alumni from Newfoundland. So yeah, Terry Ryan.
If your father played in senior hockey, played in the AHL, played anywhere, if your uncle did, tell him to get in touch with us. We'd love to talk. Even if your father's played high school hockey in the 70s, I'd love to get some stories about what that was like, because we always hear is like, you hear through the progression of hockey, especially myself who played hockey. You hear like, oh my God, it's not like what it used to be back then. It's like, tell me how it used to be back then. I'd love to hear. So yeah, like Jordan said, Terry Ryan, we're shouting you out right now. We're going to make a reel with this. Please, like, we sent you an email. We don't like begging, but we're also not below begging either. We're not too good for begging.
I mean, I'm just a huge fucking fan. I'd like to have a chat. I'd like to tell you how much I love you. Bye.
Yeah, it'd be deadly if you come on, if he wants to talk about, be deadly to have him on, talk about a few stories and stuff too. But yeah, so like we're hoping in the next, when the new podcast starts, the Good Laff Hockey Podcast, whatever it's called, we're hoping the first episode would be that essentially. And then that would lead us into the first year with Newfoundland Regiment. Newfoundland Regiment players, you might get your team might get an email to see if we can get any of you on the show as well. Because apparently your PR is pretty easy to get a hold of. But yeah, video games, Warzone wants a new system so I can play newer games too, because there's a bunch of games out that I'm interested in. All right.
What else have I been playing? By bit of Elden Ring, bit of Marvel Rivals. That's Good Laff. A game called Schedule 1 came out recently. You're basically you're a drug dealer. You start off as this lowly little street thug, and you basically work your way up. It's basically Breaking Bad. You actually got to cook the meth and stuff. I likes it. It's fun as fuck. You can play with your buys. It's so fun, man. I streamed it the other night for like 6. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know what? I'm not gonna. I'll tell you off mic, because I don't want. Anyway, edit that out. But anyway, yeah, video games. Still addicted. Still loves them. Gone mad.
Yeah, I'm getting more addicted as time goes too, because it's a good way. Well,
it's funny because I got this new PC here, and I gave Feller Palm my old one, and he's straight into video games too. It's like a complete contrast of his like Woods tea content. So,
well, that's how I feel too.
Yeah, he's like he's gonna start streaming games too eventually, which is wild. I didn't expect him to do that, but good laugh.
So, yeah, that's video games, and I guess to end off the pod, we'll have a little quick sports chat. Toronto Blue Jays started their season yesterday. They lost 12-2. It was very embarrassing. Horrible home opener. They're in mid-season form already. Incredible. Canada Soccer lost to Mexico in Nations League, but then went on to beat the States for third place. Alphonso Davies, who is the best.
You must have loved that in beating the States.
Buddy, you should have seen me flipping out. Like,
yeah.
I said some stuff, but it was good.
Say.
But also, it would have been better just to win the whole tournament and to beat Mexico in the first game. But Alphonso Davies, who's the best Canadian soccer player, has an ACL tear. Is probably out for like 8 months, which is horrible.
That's bad, yeah.
World Cup is next year, though, which is going to be crazy that Canada's hosting a World Cup. I'm going to have 2 games here.
So really?
Yeah.
That's sick. Whoa.
It is going to be nuts. And then, I guess a little hockey update before, because we've been talking hockey so much lately. It's just we'll have a little update.
Well, all I know is his Leafs lost last night to San Jose in shootout. That's pretty sad. And
down 5-2. Down 5-2 and tied it, yeah. But
okay. I didn't realize that.
But still, you can't. You lost twice to them now in 2 shootouts, and you lost to Nashville the other night. And you're still tied for first. You should be in first by at least 3 points.
Head and shoulders above everyone, yeah.
Unbelievable. Un-fucking believable. And then Tampa beat Buys 8-0 and Utah last night, and Good Laff. Oh, buddy. I don't want to jinx anything right now. But in fantasy, I came in. So everyone makes playoffs besides 11th place.
So, you got Kucherov, right?
And he's been playing.
He got how many points? I think he got
7 points in the last 2 games.
Yeah.
But so I was in 10th place, last place to make the playoffs. I made the playoffs, and currently I'm still winning. I beat the guy who was at first last week, put him out.
No way.
Yeah, and because of people just, man, it happened for me last year too. I wasn't having it, and then Boz got last week. Jake McCabe had 4 assists in 1 game for Toronto. He barely had that all year. But then I'm just having huge. Last night I had Mishkov. Mishkov scored 2 goals, 2 assists against Montreal. I've just been having huge nights from guys, and now I'm about to. If things are going the way they're predicted, I'm winning this week. And then I'll enter the finals where it's I think the prize split is 70-30, and it's $35 buy-in. So no matter what, I'm going to get a bit of money out of it. And I might ask the person, it depends who it is in the finals with me. If it's me good buddy who's in the other semifinal, I'm going to ask him if he wants to go 60-40. And the winner just takes the 60.
Yeah.
It's guaranteed a bit of money each. I think it's going to be there's 11 of us, $30 each. Pretty good.
Good laugh.
I won't say no
Fuck
to it. No. So, yeah, that's really it. There hasn't been, besides a few scary stories, bit of movies. Things are going to ramp up now. We'll probably have a little hockey podcast about before the playoffs starts, about our predictions for the playoffs, and then we'll probably do one when the playoffs are over, or maybe one after every round. Who knows? We'll see what that happens, and maybe we'll start our Good Laff, the other hockey podcast by then. But
regardless,
that or what? Bye.
Exciting stuff on the horizon. I'm just excited for the future of this podcast. Bye. Honestly,
me too. If you got a company and you want to, like we always say, if you want to chat, let us know. Also coming up on the future podcast, we're going to have a good friend of mine, Cody. Cody's in a band in Montreal called Outlier. They are a post-hardcore, metalcore band, super dope, super deadly. He's going to come on the next episode or 2, talk about their new album, play some songs from an old album, talk hockey, talk video games, talk scary movies, talk music.
I'm excited to talk music, honestly.
Yeah, that's one thing where if you're a musician and you have an album being released or you want to come on and promote your music, me and Jordan are more than willing, more than happy for you to come on.
Bro, this podcast is for sale, dude. If you promote us, we'll promote you. As long as you're not a piece of shit.
Exactly. So if you wanna you can send us a message or whatever, and we're always open to chat. If you can't do a full episode, we're always open to doing, we could do the interview one day. I could edit it into another day. It doesn't have to be all on the same day. So yeah. So we'll figure it out.
Go follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/jerkadirk. Follow the podcast everywhere. Give us a like, comment, all the shit. And guys, if you think we're doing a horrendous, shitty job, we talked about this earlier. If you think we're call us out on our bullshit. If you think we're full of shit, the comments and the support's been great, but I just want to know what it feels like to have a hater or something. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, no, totally, I get it. And yeah, that's it for episode 9. Fucking Emily Rose. Call me.
Good luck.
Actually, don't call me Emily Rose. I'm taken and you're dead.
All right, then. Good laugh.
Good laugh.